أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وخاتم النبيين حبيبنا وحبيب إليه العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى طيبين الطاهرين معصومين ولا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين ولعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum to the brothers and sisters. May Allah Azza wa Jal have accepted all of your mourning for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and may inshallah these majalis bring the coming of our Imam Zaman alayhi salam day to day closer. And may inshallah us and our children and our children's children be the closest of the followers of Imam Zaman alayhi salam. Just a short summary of what was said before. We spoke about the meaning of religion and Islam, how Islam is a program, how it's a program for mankind in large, individually, as a community, as a sense of morality, as a sense of legal justice, and the different aspects that it covered. Then we mentioned that we can see these signs in the deeds of the Prophet of Islam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Sayyid al-Shuhada, and so on and so forth. And we gave specific examples in the life of Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and that we can see that every single action was for hukumat, was for governance. And when the time was right for him to take a certain place to be able to govern it the way that Allah sees fit, he would go to that place and do exactly the deed that Allah wanted him to do. Now, we answered there a question that is quite, you can say maybe controversial, you can maybe say that it's a reoccurring, very much so. And that was with the ilm of ladunni, the hidden knowledges that the Imams have, and the way that they acted upon normal means, as in the ordinary way, the ordinary knowledges, the things that we ourselves know. And we gave the example, for example, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Sayyid al-Shuhada, of course at that moment in time, knew that the people of Kufa are not going to be loyal. He's the Imam, all of the knowledge, he's connected to the knowledge of Allah Azza wa Jal. And we explained there how he shouldn't act upon that ill. We gave exact examples from the Prophet's life, from Imam Ali alayhi salam's life. And now we get to today's lecture, today's talk. And that is another question that arises as well, that I've seen in many places. And that is the power that an imam has. Of course, if an imam is exactly the same way that we exemplate it to be, we say that it is in this way, an imam he has all the earth, the universe in his hand. Then why did the imam merely not just command the earth to swallow all the army of Yazid whole, for example? Why is it when the Ajaneen came to Sayyid al-Shuhada and said, let us fight for you, he said, no, we're going to fight ourselves? And this is not only, brothers and sisters, this is not only for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, however, it is for the prophets before as well. And it is in the lives of the Imam as well. Exactly how the previous problem, the previous question was answered, because of course the awliya of Allah, the Imams, the prophets before did the same. The Imam did the same as well. as they have to go through the normal means. Now there's 4 reasons that today, inshallah, if we have time, that I want to mention to the brothers and sisters. 4 reasons why Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Sayyid al-Shuhada, did not act upon or did not use his power, divine power, let's say, his ilahi power, just by commanding. And we know that Imam Hussein had this. Why? Because we know that, of course, this famous story of Surah Naml, where a person with Takhta bil Qais, Hoval Minal Ilmul Kitab, a part of the Ilmul Kitab this person had. Everyone knows the story of Hazrat Sulaiman and Takhta bil Qais. Just an evidence for what we want to say. With a blink of an eye, he said, I will bring the Takhta bil Qais here. Of course, this is not normal means of power. Now we have in our narrations the Ahlul Bayt, Huwal Ilmul Kitab. They have all of Ilmul Kitab. They are Ilmul Kitab. Amir al-Mu'mineen is Qur'anun Natiq. He's a walking Qur'an. So of course, the Imams have this power. We can see from the ahadith that a person comes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam and says, can you prove to me that you are the Imam? In that moment in time, it was deemed appropriate. The Imam said, can you see that tree? He said, yes. He points at the tree and says, come. And the roots of the tree moves and comes towards the Imam. These are miracles. Sometimes it's difficult for people to believe these miracles. It's not very difficult because it's mentioned in the Quran. We have many of these miracles that prophets have done. Another famous miracle is Shaqqul Qamar, where the Prophet split the moon in 2. People thought, no, this is sorcery. So they waited. They waited for people that were on the journey to them, that they were far away. Because usually sorcery in that time is that they distort your vision. You see something that is not real. Not that they actually do it with sorcery. Because there's a limitation with sorcery. And we can see this in the story of Hazrat Musa, where the sorcerers realized what Hazrat Musa is doing is no sorcery. That's why they had Iman. When they turned those sticks into snakes or dragons or whatever the thing was, when Hazrat Musa did it, they realized, no, this is different. For us, it was a distorting the vision. For Hazrat Musa, it actually happened. Because he's the mistaq, the example of what? He's the example of the will of Allah. إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ الشَّيْءَ فَيَقُولْ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ. They just say, let it be and it will happen. Because they're connected to Allah Azza wa Jal. And because Allah, He wants this to happen, it will happen. Very simple. Now with all of this, with all of these descriptions that we have of the awliya and of course the miracles that they can do and the power that they possess, divine power, Sayyid al-Shuhada does not use this divine power. And just as another example of this, the power that the Ahlul Bayt possess, that if I remember correctly in the lectures before, if we want to see this in its complete sense, please read with translation the Ziyarat of Jama Kabira from Imam Hadi alayhi salam. It's a beautiful hadith. Well, it's a ziyarat, but it's come in hadith. And it has exactly what truly we should believe as what the Imams are. Anything that you can think of that a being could have, they have. The only difference is that they are not Rabb, they are not Allah, they are not a creator. Anything below that they have. These 14 individuals, anything below that they have. And this is not shirk. Unfortunately, some places they think, oh, this is shirk. No. Everything they possess, they got from Allah. Everything. However, in terms of what they have everything. but they got everything from Allah. They are nothing without Allah Azza wa Jal. There's no doubt in that. However, sometimes because of our own inability to fathom the extent of the Imams, we try to bring them down, because of course it couldn't be like this. It was going to be shirk. No, there's no shirk. Shirk is when you see them as mustaqil, you see them without Allah, as in that this being, this human has something, but what they have is apart from Allah Azza wa Jal. That's not the case. Whatever they possess is from Allah. Whatever we possess is from Allah Azza wa Jal. However, they are on the peak, in the peak that you cannot even go any further. We read in the Ziyad Ashura, Maqama Mahmud lakum indallah. The highest maqam is Maqama Mahmud. And Imam Sadiq is telling us in Ziyad Ashura that we should pray for the maqam of Mahmud that Imam Hussein reached. We should want that from Allah as well. We should want that as well. Now, just a quick story here. And it's an interesting one. I wouldn't say it if I wasn't sure about it, because I was there for this myself. So this is a first-hand story from Imam Rida alayhi salam. One of our friends that we grew up with in London, his brother had a problem and he was on a wheelchair since the age of 4. He had a problem, he had spasms, he couldn't walk. Year by year he would get worse. They were family friends. His family was friends with my family. And back then we were quite young. I think I was maybe 18, 19, something like that. It was the first years that I've gone to Hawza in Qom. And this family, they came to Iran so that they can take their younger son. So the older son was my friend, and the younger son at that time was around 12, 13 maybe. The younger son, they would take him to the haram of Imam Rida alayhi salam, inshallah that Imam Rida alayhi salam gives him shafa. So they first came to Iran, we stayed a little bit in Qom, and we traveled all together towards Mashhad. Now, his parents and my parents, they went with an airplane because it was difficult, the road. However, we took a coach, a bus, and we went from Qom towards Mashhad. We left Qom very soon, so we got there sooner than they did. We were praying in the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam, and I said to my friend, listen, this brother that I saw him as my own brother, truly he's having a lot of difficulties. He had really bad spasm. His body would get spasms, and I don't know if any of you have had a leg cramp before after sports, it hurts. Now imagine having that all through your body in the worst way. So this child was in a lot of pain. So I said to him, listen, let's pray for shafa or shifa. Whether that he will become good or that he will go to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because he's not getting better. And the doctors are saying that he can never walk again. And this will continue. So they kept on giving him morphine every day because of obviously reducing the pain. Because of the pain he couldn't, at that age, imagine. So we started praying until I got a call. So they were on the plane. Apparently, the people that were supposed to connect the oxygen to this child, they didn't do it correctly. And of course, this kid cannot speak. He was without oxygen. By the time they realized he had a spasm, he had apparently some kind of a heart attack, or I don't know the exact details, his heart stopped. So they landed in Mashhad, ambulance came, they rushed him towards the hospital. Of course, they couldn't speak Farsi, so my mother had to go with them. And the parents came towards the haram with me and their son, which was my friend. And his parents were crying in the haram, please don't take our Imam Rida, please do like shafa of our son. And I get a call. My mother tells me that he's passed away. His heart stopped. And of course they were next to me, so they heard, they started crying. All of us were it was a very difficult time because we've known them for years. We've known them for many years by then. And again, I'm saying this is a first count story. I was there myself. So we're in the shrine, his father is crying. I exactly remember exact place that we were in the shrine. It was exactly above the head of Imam Rida alayhi salam. He was crying. It was 50 minutes go by. 50 minutes go by, and my mother calls me again. I pick up the phone, and she says, he's alive again. And I said, sorry, what did you say? You said that he's alive again. I said, yes, his heart is beating. 50 minutes has gone by. And she says to me, all the doctors in the hospital, so with the ambulance, obviously it's a 10-minute drive to the hospital. They were in the hospital, they wrote all the death certificate at this time, done. But the machine had not been taken off him, and suddenly the heartbeat came back after 50 minutes. After 50 minutes. After 50 minutes, this is the power of the Ahlul Bayt. They asked, and alhamdulillah, slowly he was getting better. So after that, they went back to England and he got much better. And many other stories that we've heard about the Ahlul Bayt, about Abul Fadl al-Abbas. There's many stories of similar things happening in the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Many of these stories, some people are skeptical. They think, no, people just say these things. At least one of them, I was there myself. I witnessed it myself. And in the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam, I'm not sure about other shrines, but in the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam, the khadimeen, the workers there, have a big book. And they keep a record of every single one that happens. They keep a record of every single one that happens. And exactly another story that a very close friend of mine was telling me that he was there for this, is that there was 2 young girls, very small, I'm not sure about the age 4 or 5, and they were blind from birth. They were blind from birth. And this is a record in the Haram of Imam Rida alayhi salam. It's in the records. They were twins. And they came from Pakistan. So their parents brought them. And every day their parents would take them to the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam. As I'm saying this, honestly, I'm getting goosebumps. As every time they would go to the Haram, it was very difficult to bring both of them together. So the mother and father decided, Zuhr time, I will take this daughter. At night time, you take the other daughter. And they said, okay. As the father took one of the daughters during the day, one of these 2 twins, by the way, blind from birth, takes them to, we call it Ayvun Tala. It's the golden window of Imam Rida in the Sahn of Inqilab. She grabs the zari, and suddenly she says to her father, I can see the dome, I can see you. At that moment, this friend of mine that was there, he said that there was an uproar. Everyone was trying to grab her or touch her, because they say, so many of them say that their mom has touched her, for example. And these workers of the Haram of Imam Rida alayhi salam quickly grabbed the father and the daughter. They took them away. They made a record of this, and then take them to the hotel. While these workers were taking this father away from, of course, the commotion that is happening, they saw that the father was crying, and he was kept on turning back and looking at Imam Rida alayhi salam. He said, listen, what are you doing? Let's go. He said, how am I going to go back home? How can I go tell my other daughter that Imam Rida loved you, but he didn't loved your sister, but did not love you? And he was crying and crying. And at that moment, everyone that heard this, they started crying. They couldn't control themselves. But of course, they had to take the father and the daughter away from the crowd and the commotion. There's a famous road called Sarshur. It's exactly opposite to Babul Jawad. It's facing the Haram, full of hotels. That's where they were staying. It's like a shopping center. And within the streets, there's roads. It's famous. So the fathers, they asked him, listen, they found someone that could speak Urdu, and they were like, listen, where is your address, and he showed the address, and he said, sure, okay, let's take him. And they took him. While they were taking him, there was a lot of commotion in this road, this Sarshu road. They were like, what's going on? Why can we not go in? And one of the people that were at the beginning of the road, they said, I don't know, but apparently there's a little 5-year-old girl in that hotel that she was blind from birth. Apparently Imam Rida gave her shafa. Now this second girl was not even in the haram. Second one was in the hotel. This is the power, the divine power that the Ahlul Bayt, they possess, truly possess. And it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're in Scotland, in Sweden, in Norway, in Iran, in Iraq. Their domain is the whole universe. And these are the nights that we should ask for anything that we, and truly believe that if it is good for me, if it is in my interest, the Ahlul Bayt will give me. If it is in my interest, Ahlul Bayt will definitely give me. So of course this is the power that the Ahlul Bayt possess. However, they do not use it, number one, for themselves. Number two, they don't use it in everywhere. They use it in special cases. They don't use it everywhere. Now, for the reasons. This is technically the philosophy of the journey of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and why in this journey he went in an ordinary way, the normal way. And within this journey, the reason of his movement from, of course, Medina to Mecca and then Mecca towards Kufa was very ordinary. And the way he approached the battle was just like any other battle. The first reason, the testing of the people. This journey that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, the first reason, the journey that he wanted to take and the battle that was going to happen was to test people. It was an examination for the people. And we have 2 ayahs from the Quran that we can give an example of this. Number one is the ayah of 179 from Surah Al-Imran, where Allah says, in the examinations we distinguish between the good and the wicked, the good and the bad. In the examinations. Even, brothers and sisters, when you see the word musibah in the Quran, most of the time the musibah doesn't mean as in bad things are going to happen. Musibat in Arabic, it means examination. So in one of the surahs, if I'm not mistaken, it's Surah Taqabun, when it says that your wife and children are musibat, it doesn't mean that they're of course problems for you. It means that you're going to be tested. That if your spouse and your children, of course, in the family, you need to be careful of how you treat them, what you say, what you do. Because sometimes us in our household, we're very comfortable. When we come outside, we're angels. But when we go in our homes, God forbid when we go in our homes. So over there, a man, a woman, a child has to be very careful of how they act. Not to be, sometimes we're a bit too comfortable at home. We're a bit too comfortable with our fathers. The respect has to still be there. And vice versa. With our wives, wives with their husbands. Allah, inshallah, in a different lecture, one of the reasons for the marriage of Rasulullah with Aisha was exactly this, the testing. And how with all the things that Aisha did, how polite was still Rasulullah. With the things that she said, and the narrations are in their own books. You can go read. How many occasions she was rude to Rasulullah, but Rasulullah answered in kindness. And this is an example for us. This is an example. Rasulullah is an example for us.
Another ayah that gives an example for testing of people is in Surah Ankabut, the second ayah, where Allah says, do you think it is enough to say we believe and we will just leave you as, okay, we believe? That we have iman, amen, and that's it? Of course not. This iman is shown through action. I have to test you, and then I can see you have true iman. Everything is tested, brothers and sisters. A program is made, a plane is made, a car is made. Is it anything that is made and then just the normal look of it looks correct? Yes, this looks correct. Okay, let's take it out to manufacturing. It is tested. And then when it acts, when this car can drive perfectly, this program runs perfectly, this plane flies perfectly, that is when we know that, okay, it is working. It has to do the job. A human being, an insan, is correct, is a true insan when it acts the way it should act. It should act the exact way it should act. All these things that we mentioned, for example, that person that has some of ilm al-kitab, and in Takht bil-Qais, he says, I will just bring the Takht of Bil-Qais in a few seconds with a blinking of the eye. A great scholar once said that, why do you think that this is so abnormal? A true insan should be able to do this. A true insan is sakhara ma fi samawati wal ard. He's taken all of heavens and the earth, the skies and the earth, in his hands. Because they're supposed to be Waliullah fil ard. They're the Wali of Allah on earth. So they're supposed to be able to do all of this stuff. However, why can we not do this stuff? Why do we have difficulty in the simplest of tasks? Because we're broken. This connection with Allah is broken. Simple as that. Would you be shocked if you open up tomorrow you go buy a plasma TV, a new 4K nice TV, you open it up and it's broken. It doesn't show. Or it's very blurry, it doesn't show in 4K. Are you going to be shocked? Of course you're going to be shocked. So when an insan, it's so difficult for them to read one page of Quran in a day. It's as if they're going to climb a mountain. They can't read 2 pages of Quran, 3 pages of Quran in one day. It takes how many minutes? And they can't do that? This heart is broken. This heart, brothers and sisters, is broken. When they want to pray, they pray as if they're surfing. This is how fast it is. The ruku, sajdah. Sometimes they think they go on the third sajdah. How many did I do? Because they were doing it so fast they can't even remember. Sometimes, unfortunately, Zuhr and Asr and Maghrib Asha is connected with a difference of 4 minutes just before it's Qadha. And then, of course, morning prayer was gone, so they're going to add that to as well. The Qadha, read it there. And so, in all of the day, just before Maghrib prayer, they do the whole days of prayer. There was one person in Iran came up to me in the Haram and said, honestly, it's really difficult for me to pray, but whenever I pass a masjid, I go inside and I pray as much as I can. So it's his shift, he's about to go to work. He says, sometimes I pray so much, I think that I've already done all the things that I've already done, the prayers that I've missed. So I pray the ones coming. So tomorrow's prayer and the day after's prayer, because I know I'm not going to have time, so. What is this? This is broken. This heart is broken. It's not working properly. So the travel of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is to test people. Even the greatest among them, even Ibn Abbas. What did Ibn Abbas do? One of the greatest mufassirin of the Quran at that time. He said to Abu Abdullah, oh, Abu Abdullah, don't go. You know what's going to happen. Why are you telling your Imam, don't go? Why are you giving him advice? You think your Imam doesn't know? Go with him. You should be asking him, what am I supposed to do? Not tell your Imam what to do. Or many other people that in that moment in time, they weren't ready enough. They said, let me go to my family for now, put them in the safe haven, and then I'll come and give my life for you. The story of Karbala, brothers and sisters, is a story of love. Love blinds you. The love of Abu Abdullah. Why is it that they say if you hit yourself, oh, it's haram? For Abu Abdullah, it's okay. And we mean by sinners, and we don't mean the extent that some go to. Why? Even if you do bruise yourself, if it is out of love and you've truly loosed yourself for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, it's fine. Because the story of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein with Allah Azza wa Jal is a story of love. In the moments when Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is about to be martyred in the Qatlegah, what does he remember? Oh Allah, please accept this small token that I have done for you. He's not thinking, my kids have just been slaughtered. The women are going to be taken away. Thinking, Allah, please accept this small thing that I have done. Small thing. Some of us, God forbid, we do one day Salatul Layl. We think we're about to fly and walk on water and bring people back from the dead. One day of Salatul Layl. One Ramadan, we read the Quran all the way through. We think, oh, do you know what I've done? I've read the Quran all the way through, from beginning to end. But when Abu Abdullah does so much, he says this little token. Because even this, the ability for me to do this, it came from Allah Azza wa Jal. Many people, brothers and sisters, were tested. And many people succeeded in this exam. Like Muslim ibn Aqil. Other people like Hur. Other people reached the extent that no other can reach, like Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. These were in these tests. And the second reason, so that was the first reason. The second reason is following the apparent causes. There's a narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, the execution of the manners of this world, Allah sees it fit for it to go to the normal courses, for the normal courses to be taken place. Allah doesn't want everything to be a supernatural and a out of this world event. It wants the people themselves to rise up. And I want to relate this, brothers and sisters, to free will. What kind of a free will we have if right now, for example, Imam Zaman alayhi salam comes, all of the enemies that come to him, he points at them and they all turn into dust. And then the mu'mineen, he points at them and they become the best of the believers. And then the world is the best heaven on earth. We have heaven on earth and everywhere is peace and prosperity. The value of this is, and if you leave it for itself to come out. Have you seen manufactured diamonds? Have you seen how cheap they are? Or rubies that have been heated for the color to come out. They're very cheap. When is it that a stone is very expensive? When is it when a diamond is very expensive? If it has gone in its natural course. Why? Because it's one of a kind. Why? Because it is rare. The reason that we are above all the creations of Allah Azza wa Jal is that we have free will. And then amongst us, not everyone will accept the truth. And within the correct religion, not everyone will accept Amir al-Mu'mineen. The people that do, not everyone will abide by the words of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Not everyone's going to believe until Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Not everyone's going to believe until Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salam, Imam Rida alayhi salam. See? The impurities are being taken away. The pure ones are coming out. And that's what the Karbala was for. Karbala was to find the precious gems. The precious gems were found in Karbala. And now for the third reason. Third reason, if I want to summarize it, is hujjat. Now what does this mean? Hujjat. It means completing the proof for the people. There was no place of shak within the people. No one had a doubt in their mind that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was with haqq and Yazid la'anatullah alayh was in the batil. There was no shak anymore. There was no doubt anymore. That's one proof. Another proof is what Abu Abdullah al-Hussein said to every single person on the day of Ashura. Just for a second, brothers and sisters, for a second, think about what Imam Hussein alayhi salam did in the Qatl-gah. When Shimr la'anatullah alayh was sitting on his chest about to cut the beautiful, the tahir head of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. What did Abu Abdullah al-Hussein say? Shem, don't do this. If you do this, you'll be in the worst places of hell. Don't do this. Can we imagine us doing something like that? One person, a mu'min brother of us, says the smallest thing to us, we compare that person to Yazid. It's done. The smallest of things. Called me a name, for example. And again, I'm not justifying the calling of a name or being rude to a brother, but by a mistake they do something. We become enemies. We shun them away. Instead of putting the muhabbat, putting the love of ourselves in their hearts, even with non-believers around us. Sometimes we look at them, I've seen people, they look at them like they're a piece of nijasat, for example. That shouldn't be the case. When a non-believer sees you, you should be the representation of Islam. They should want to be with you. They should want to be like you. From your akhlaq, from your ethics, the way you act. The way you give that person heartwarm love. They should want to be like you. But unfortunately, some of us, the smallest things, brothers and sisters. Yes, that brother did it wrong. We're talking about Shimr here. Shimr. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein looks at him and says, listen, don't do this. Still, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is thinking of his well-being. Saying, don't do this. You're going to be in the worst places of hell. There is no coming back from this Shimr. Don't do this. He's finishing hujjat for them. The khutbahs that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein gave before Ashura. And then he says that in your butun, in your stomachs, there is najasat. That's why you cannot hear me. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is speaking towards them. Is saying, listen, what you're doing is wrong. I'm towards the haqq. I'm your imam. What do? They start making noise so the other people can't hear him. They don't want to even listen. Abu Abdullah says, it's because in their stomachs are najasa. Now, one is the point of hujjat. Another point, just in brackets, that we should take away from this, brothers and sisters, be careful of what we eat and what we give to our kids. We have to make sure that the mal, as in the profits that we have, whether it be the money we make, that later on will turn into food and other things for our kids, it is not through haram. We give our zakat, we give our khums. It's not a money, it is not a, we should say daramad, it's not a money taken from haram. Extremely important. Extremely important. That if we are doing a deal, we are completely truthful to the deal. We don't lie and cheat and anyone. The money that we have is not through riba. Na'udhu billah. Why? It has an effect. Many of the people in Karbala that stood against Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, their parents and their parents' parents were good people. What happened? What happened that they stood against Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? Butunahum. And their stomachs were haram. In their stomachs were haram. This has an effect. This has an immense effect in our offspring, in our line. This has an effect. This has an effect if my children love Ahlul Bayt or not. If they're iffy about it, they're 50% here, 50% there, or no, they truly love Abu Abdullah from the bottom of their heart. It's purity. What attracts a magnet? What's a magnet made out of? Metal. It attracts metal. Does a magnet attract wood? You need to be from the same material of the Ahlul Bayt, which is purity. Going back to the point, if you see it's very difficult for me to read Quran, for me to perform salat, but it's so easy for me to flick through Instagram for 2 hours, it's because I've become the same material as that. Wasting time. But for me it's very difficult because I don't have sinkhiyat. It's called sinkhiyat. I'm not the same material. It's not a direct translation, but it's as best as I could. You're not the same. You don't have a connection with the Quran. But start, it will be difficult at the beginning, continue, and don't say from the first day that, okay, I'm going to read one juz of 30 pages, 40 pages a day. No. Take it relaxed, 1 page even. 1 to 2 pages a day, but do it every day. If you're going to take something up, take something small, but every day. If you drop one drop of water on a stone every single day, you can make a hole in that stone. But the same amount of water, if you just pour all of it at once on the stone, nothing will happen. It's a gradual thing that you do every single day. And that is the philosophy of salat. Salat is very short, honestly. Morning prayer, Zuhr prayer, it's very short. But it's in little bulks. And this little bulk, small little bites, it's spread out through the day. And that's what it has an effect. That's how it will have a true effect. Because it's spread out. You don't forget. You're in constant reminder that there is an akhirat, there's a next life. Maliki yawmuddin. You're reminded of that. You're reminded of Allah. You're reminded of in Surah Ikhlas, in whatever surahs that you read. See? It's this constant reminder. And in those gaps, if you fill it in with 1 page of Quran, a dua here, a small dua, praying slowly, these small little things, it doesn't, if you add all of it, brothers and sisters, I promise you it won't even be 20 minutes. Out of the 24 hours of the day, it will not be 20 minutes. And you can count during the day how much you spend time on other things. Yeah? Even if you shower in 1 day, a shower takes more than 20 minutes sometimes. Buying groceries takes more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes spread out during the day. Spread out, not at once. Still spread out in the day. 30 minutes, 20 minutes. This is what has an effect. Now there's many more on this, on the third reason, but because of time, let's go to the fourth reason and the last reason, that the movement of Sayyid al-Shuhada was an example for us. Now, question. If the movement from Karbala, from Mecca towards Kufa, an example, the uprising was an example for us, and if Abu Abdullah went through unordinary means, extraordinary ways, then how is it going to be an example for us? If we are supposed to learn from Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and he did things that were unordinary, then it wouldn't be an example for us. We couldn't copy it. We couldn't resemble what he did. However, what he did how he sacrificed his own life and his family's life and everything. We can see small bits of it in some of the shuhada that you've seen afterwards. It's resembled some of our shuhada, even the shuhada that have come lately, that have loved Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Small bits of what has happened you can see in their lives. You can see small bits of Abu Abdullah because of how great he is in Qadha today. What's happening to the Palestinians today? Some of them most of them, a lot of them, they truly believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. They give their life for their religion. They stand up against zulm and injustice. So Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is an example for us, his rising against a tyrant. It shows us that when we see injustice, even whether it be I have to give my life for it, I need to stand. Now for some of us, it's very difficult to boycott some companies. Really? It's difficult for you not to drink from Starbucks? It's difficult for you not to, have veggie burgers from McDonald's? These are small things. This should be very easy to do. Let alone people that have gave their lives, their families' lives. An example above all other examples, Sayyid al-Shuhada, of what he has done for Islam, for me and you, for the awakening of our hearts. Brothers and sisters, I mentioned yesterday how terrible at that time was. 70 years they were doing la'an of Amir al-Mu'mineen on the minbar. 70 years. People had forgotten who Amir al-Mu'mineen was. They said, did Amir al-Mu'mineen pray? How was he martyred in prayer? Did he even pray? Can you see the propaganda back then? Propaganda is not only for today. It even existed back then. Of course, it's much stronger today. They can twist truths a lot better today. But even back then, the Islam that they had back then was not recognizable by Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He said, this cannot happen. We need to change this. This thing needs to be changed. This is not accepted. So from the moment that he left Kufa with Dua Arafah, please, if you can, parts of Dua Arafah, read the translations. First of all of it's Tawheed. And a lot of it is the explanation of why Abu Abdullah al-Hussein actually left towards Kufa. And then you see each of his speeches towards his own companions and the letters that he wrote, that inshallah we want to speak about in the lectures to come. And he says to his companions, listen, don't think of what people want from you. Only think of what Allah wants from you. One of the things. Many more. That he prepares the companions for the shahadat that is about to come. He prepares these individuals. It's a very difficult task to come. Each step of the way is a lesson for us. If you want to learn sabr, patience, now if you go on, for example, so many of these social medias, YouTube and so on and so forth, that you should, patience is so important and so on. All of this we had many years ago in Islam. If you want patience, the person that embodies patience is Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. If you want to see injustice embodied, is the person that we want to speak about today, Hazrat Ruqayyah. She embodies injustice, embodies what these despicable people did. Embodies it. What they did to Ali Asqar.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك عليك مني جميع السلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبغي الليل والنهار. All together, brothers and sisters, Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Husayn. We want to speak from the tongue of Bibi Ruqayya alayhi salam, what she had to go through, brothers and sisters. It is, for me at least, it is one of the most difficult stories to tell. Hazrat Ruqayya alayhi salam. Any of you, any of the fathers and mothers that have a small little daughter, when you only just think about what she had to go through. She calls out to her father, "Oh Father," instead of father, just for the correct translation, because it has more of a move to it, we're going to say Baba. Baba, see my scar on my head is full of dust. Oh Baba, you said you're going to go for a trip. Why has it taken so long? Have you forgotten that you have a daughter at home? Oh Baba, if only one more time I can hug you. At this moment, Bibi Ruqayya is not even thinking about water. She's only thinking about Abu Abdullah al-Husayn, his father. Oh Baba, sometimes when I feel my cheek, I tremble in the pain. Oh Baba, do you know what happened to my earrings? Baba, can you see the state of my feet? It's narrated that before the day of Ashura, the night of Ashura, Abu Abdullah al-Husayn was seen in the deserts around the camp. And one of the companions said, "Ya Abu Abdullah, what are you doing?" And he said, "I want to just take a few of these thorns that are in the way, because I know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know my women and children are going to go to this path, and these thorns are going to be in their feet." Baba, can you see the state of my feet? Can you see that there is no Ali Akbar?
Can you see that there is no Uncle Abbas? He had one question from his father. Oh Baba, where is Ali Asghar? Baba, where is Ali Asghar? Oh Baba, where are they taking us? Baba, why does our Auntie Zainab look so worried? Why will she not let me leave from a meter of her side? Baba, can you see that they've brought us to a majlis, that there is sharab? Can you see that there is many men here gathered? Do they not know that we are the household of Rasulullah? Baba, it's very difficult for me not to see you. In those last moments, that mal'oon said, you want to see Baba? You want to see your father? Bring her father. And on a plate, a silver platter, they brought the head of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. It is narrated that as she saw, she passed out. A little daughter seeing the head of her father on a silver platter. Baba, سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون باسمك العظيم لا أعظم أجل الأكرم بك يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا صلوات محمد على محمد.
يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين المظلومين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. وجه الصباح علي ليل مظلم، وجه الصباح علي ليل مظلم، وربيع أيامي علي محرم. والليل يشهد لي بأني ساهر، إن طاب للناس الرقاد فهوموا. قلقا تقلبني الهموم بمضجعي، ويغور فكري في الزمان ويتهم من لي بيوم وغن يشب ضرامه، ويشيب فود الطفل منه فيهرم، فعسى أن أنال من التراث مواضيا تزدي عليهن الدهور وتلحم، أو موتة بين الصفوف أحبها، هي دين معشري الذين تقدموا، ما خلت أن الدهر من عاداته تروى الكلاب به ويظمأ الضيغم، ويقدم الأموي وهو مؤخر، ويؤخر العلوي وهو مقدم، مثل ابن فاطمة يبيت مشردا، ويزيد في لذاته متنعم، يرقى منابر أحمد متأمرا في المسلمين، وليس ينكر مسلم، ويضيق الدنيا على ابن محمد حتى تقاذفه الفضاء الأعظم. خرج الحسين من المدينة خائفا كخروج موسى خائفا يتكتم، وقد انجلى عن مكة وهو ابنها، فكأنما المأوى عليه محرم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون، والعاقبة للمتقين.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. एक बारी सर में कुबाबे दा सज्जाद फिरा मिलवाहे मंडवा दा है वल नारो सा। एक बारी सर में कुबाबे सज्जाद फिरा मिलवाहे मंडवा दा है वल नारो सा। एक बार सज्जाद फिरा मिलवाहे मंडवादा है वल नारो सा। मैं कुप्यू मजलूम दे एक बारे, मैं कुप्यू मजलूम दे एक बारे रुखसार चुमाहे मंडवादा है वल नारो सा। कुवारे सार में कुंभा सज्जाद फिरा मिलवाहे मंडवादा है वल नारो सा। एक बार मंडवादा है वल नारो सा। मैं को खाक नींदर नहीं आंदी चद समझी हाँ कन दुख वंदे। मैं को शिमर तमाचे मारे है शिमर तमाचे मारे مدهن رخسار گواہے میں ول نارو ساہک واری سر میں بابے دا سجاد بھرا ایک واری سر میں بابے دا سجاد بھرا ملوائے منڈوا دا ہے ول نارو ایک واری سر میں پیو دی ماتم دار جتا زندان شام وچ مر ویساں میں کو دفن کریں سجاد بھرا میں کو دفن کریں جاد بھرا ایو میلا چولا پواہے منڈوا دا ہے ول ناروس ایک واری سار میں بابے دا سجاد بھرا ملوائے منڈوا دا ہے ایک وار چوسالہ دے معصومہ دے نہیں وال سفید ہوندے میں وانگ ضعیفہ ہو گئیا میں وانگ ضعیفہ ہو گئیا گیا دکھ بابے دا کھائے منڈوا دا ہے ولنا ساک واری سار میں کباب سجاد بھرا ملوائے منڈوا دا ہے ول نارو ساہک واری سار میں کباب سجاد بھرا ملوائے منڈوا دا ہے ول نارو ساہک واری سار میں کباب سجاد بھرا ملوائے منڈوا دا ہے ول نارو سا میں کو پیو مظلوم دہک وارے میں کو پیو مظلوم دہک وارے رخسار چمائے منڈوا دا ہے ول نارو سا
یا حسین سار اللہ یا ابا عبداللہ یا حسین سار اللہ یا حسین سار اللہ یا حسین سار اللہ یا حسین سار اللہ ضربت سیلی گرفت قوت بیناییم من گل باغ ولا میوه داناییم ضربت سیلی گرفت قوت بیناییم من گل باغ ولا میوه داناییم غم شده همسایم کلبه تنهاییم شرم و حیا کندمی زین همه شیداییم یا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا یا ابتا یا ابتا من که یتیمی صغیر من که یتیمی صغیر ساکن کوی غمم بی کس و بی سرپناه زخمی بی مرهمم از چه سبب صورتم گشته ز نیلی کبود دشمن دون کن حیا نور دل خاتمم یا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا ابتا یا حسین یا ابتا ای که چنین میزنی ای که چنین میزنی بر رخ دخت نبی، یار کدام این گروه، اهل کدام مذهبی؟ من گل باغ ولا، میوه داناییم، ضربت سیلی گرفت قوت بیناییم. یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا، یا ابتا. هر که رسد می کشد، هر که رسد می کشد گوش من و موی من، سیلی و شلاق و سنگ می شکند جام تن. پاره شده گوشم از غارت گوشواره ها، هم نما پیکرم، تار و کبودم کفن. یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا، ابتا یا. طفل یتیم را زدن، طفل یتیم را زدن، خنده ندارد دگر، خنده مزن بی حیا، بر من خونین جگر. داغ پدر یک طرف، داغ پدر یک طرف، بی کسیم یک طرف. شکوه کنم از شما به جد خود مصطفی. یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا یا حسین، یا ابتا یا حسین،
یا ابتا یا ابتا یا حسین. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. حسين 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 حسين. رقية على الوسادة ما لقوها، طلعوا بالخيم يتفقدوها. رقية على الوسادة ما لقوها، طلعوا بالخيم يتفقدوها. ليلو كان ظلام الغاضرية، لن ضج بحريم الفاطمية. بس لا ضاعت وتاهت رقية، بس لا ضاعت وتاهت رقية. وبغربة الهيمة يضيعوها، وبغربة الهيمة يضيعوها. ليها يدورون بخيمة خيمة، دنيا مظلمة والقاع هيمة. بعدها مدللة ما هي يتيمة، شلون تضيع بين الدليلوها. حسين حسين حسين. سمعوا صوتها ورقت لحنها، سمعوا صوتها ورقت لحنها. تلول وغافي عبد الله بحضنها، بلش من الرباب يدر لبنها، بلش من الرباب يدر لبنها. لو ما يتحصل وتروي أخوها، لو لو ما يتحصل تروي أخوها. جاهوا من حضنها الطفل شاله، مهدى وشاف رقتها على حاله، حضنها وغدا يحاكيها بدلاله، حضنها وغدا يحاكيها بدلاله. وش محلى سوالفها ويا خو، وش محلى سوالفها ويا خوها. حسين 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 حسين. حضن حسين وش محلى المحاكي، حضن حسين وش محلى المحاكي. عمر الورد ما تعرف بواكي، عمر الورد ما تعرف بواكي. وابو السجاد عين على التراكي، وابو السجاد عين على التراكي. يدر خلاف عينه يسلبوها، يدر خلاف عينه يسلبوها. حسين حسين حسين. هي تسولف واهوى عيون الحسنها، وردة والعطش ذبل غصنها، وردة والعطش ذبل غصنها. وراح يزورك الصوت بمتنها، وبكتفها الحبل ويعذبوها، وبحبلها يعذبوها. قال لها عمامك واخوتك هاي، باكر تنذبح بالمعركة وياي، وانا ينذبح راسي من القفاي، وبالحافر ضلوعي يكسروها، وبالحافر ضلوعي يكسروها. حسين حسين حسين. وافلح وصلى على محمد وآل محمد.
ألم دارنا يا 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 آیا علم اور علم دارنا آیا یا علم اور علم دارنا آیا دریا سے دل حیدر کرار نہ آیا آیا علم دار نہ آیا آیا علم اور علم دار نہ آیا غیرت کا تقاضا ہے علمدار کی ہستی غیرت کا تقاضا ہے علمدار کی ہستی بچی سے شرم سار وفادار نہ آیا آیا علمدار نہ آیا آیا बाजू जो कटे दांतों में मशकी ज़्यादा बाया, बाजू जो कटे दांतों में मशकी ज़्यादा बाया। जब मास्क छिदी फिर वो हयादार न आया। या अलम और अलमदार न आया, अलम और अलमदार न आया। हर लाश पे बाई का मददगार था गाजी, हर लाश पे बाई का मददगार था गाजी। बाद उससे के कोई शे का मददगार न आया, आया। आया अलम जब तक वो रहा चादर ज़ैनब का मुहाफिज, जब तक वो रहा चादर ज़ैनब का मुहाफिज। ख़ैमे की तरफ कोई सितमगार न आया, आया अलम अलमदार न आया, आया अलम। बाजू था जो शबीर का बेबाजू हुआ वो, बाजू था जो शबीर का बेबाजू हुआ वो। बेदस्त उदास्त शाह अबरार न आया, आया अलम और अलमदार न आया। दार न आया। ज़ैनब ने कहा देख रही हूँ मैं नतीजा, ज़ैनब ने कहा देख रही हूँ मैं नतीजा। हम शक्ल अली काफ़िला सालार न आया, आया अलम
आया। सलावत Muhammad sallallahu Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Tonight is Roghaya asking his father to come, as Sheikh mentioned. Biya baba, ye khoobam. Biya baba, ye khoobam. Repeat. Baba, biya ye khoobam. Biya baba, ye khoobam. Biya baba, ye khoobam. Biya baba, ye khoobam. Biya baba, dilam gham darad imshab. تو را بابا فقط کم دارد امشب. بیا بابا دلم غم دارد امشب. تو را بابا فقط کم دارد امشب. بیا بابا ببین دختر 3 ساله. بیا بابا ببین دختر 3 ساله. دل خون اشک نم نم دارد امشب. دل خون اشک نم نم دارد امشب. بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا ببین رنگم پریده بیا بابا ببین رنگم پریده یتیمی هم چو من دنیا ندیده یتیمی هم چو من دنیا ندیده بیا بابا ببین قد کمانم بیا بابا ببین قد کمانم ببین دختر به ویران آرمیده ببین دختر به ویران آرمیده بیا بابا بیا بابا بی خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوب بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا تا سر به زانویت گذارم بیا تا سر به زانویت گذارم برای بوسه هایت بیقرارم برای بوسه هایت بیقرارم بیا تا درد دل ها با تو گویم بیا تا درد دل ها با تو گویم خزانم را بده پایان بهارم خزانم را بده پایان بهارم بیا بابا بیا خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم سر بابا به دیدارش بیامد سر بابا به دیدارش بیامد رقیه بر پدر گفتا خوش آمد رقیه بر پدر گفتا خوش آمد ز بعد دیدنش جانش فدا شد ز بعد دیدنش جانش فدا شد ز پیکر روح اون دختر برآمد ز پیکر روح اون دختر برآمد بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم بیا بابا بیا بابای خوبم صلوات اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد توارد قبل برادرز اللهم نسألك و ندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم بدماء شهدائنا وبحق إمام زماننا يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك إلهي يا حميد بحق محمد إلهي يا عالي بحق علي إلهي يا فاطر بحق فاطمة إلهي يا محسن بحق الحسن إلهي يا قديم الإحسان بحق الحسين اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قاضي الحاجات إنك مجيب الدعوات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. For the peace of soul of our beloved one who passed away, all attendees who attended tonight, for the peace of soul of our those beloved ones of those who passed away, and also for the peace of soul of the beloved one who contributed tonight by reciting, by providing food and refreshment, and also for the peace of soul of our recent beloved one, especially late Lady Salah, late Lady Nasrin Salah, who passed away, for the peace of soul of her and all your beloved one who passed away. Please recite Fatiha ma'al ikhlas wa salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له رحمة الله عليك رحمة الله عليك